Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us again. July 5th today, Judge Carter of Tom Green County. We are coming back to do an overall assessment again, one more release as we have been overnight from yesterday's events, the substantial rain event that we saw with the flooding northeast side of town and the north sector 2105 ranging down all the way to Bell Street with the main affected areas. First of all, what I'd like to do is thank all of the agencies that have been involved with county and city, all the first responders between Sheriff's Department and the San Angelo Police Department, all of the volunteer fire departments, the San Angelo Fire Department. We had many responders out there making sure that the life and safety of all of our citizens were being taken care of, and all the rescue efforts were complete. In a good manner. Tremendous efforts through it all. I'd also like to thank TDEM, the Texas Department of Emergency Management, Sean Baxter and his team here. He is our chief for emergency management in this area. It has been a tremendous effort working with them to make sure that we get all of the documentation side of it, all of the paperwork side of it, the administrative side of it, that you don't think about in a disaster like this taken care of. It's been truly a pleasure, so I thank them. DPS, I want to thank DPS and the helicopter with the two pilots, with Justin Baker. Also, their efforts with aerial views, the ride that Mayor Thompson and I were able to get up in the air and assess that area to see exactly where we're truly effective, and we've formulated a map out of that to show on a GIS map to see exactly how extensive it was. State and federal officials, August Pfluger's office, Congressional District 11, Drew Darby, Senator Charles Perry, thank you all for reaching out, making sure the efforts that we needed were being taken care of, and asked always if there's anything that we need. We're still formulating through it to see exactly how we'll be reaching out in the future. All of the local nonprofits, the United Way, Cameron, thank you. I think she hiding behind. Okay, thank you, Cameron. It's been a tremendous effort working with all the nonprofits, the United Way, the volunteer sector of it. We live in a great community. When a disaster like this happens in Tom Green County and San Angelo and the surrounding areas, our citizens come out in droves to make sure that we're taking care of our own. So thank you all very much. Paul Ann Church, they were able to open up one of their facilities for the housing of the individuals that were displaced. Thank you for that, along with taking in the donations. Contra Valley COG, Contra Valley Transit, they were able to help aid in the transport after being rescued for the individuals that were displaced. And the generous citizens, like I said, of Tom Green County and the city of San Angelo and the surrounding areas. Thank you so much for that. I want to emphasize more now on what we've touched base on a couple times now in the last two press conferences, what is called the ISTAT. That is the documentation needed for individuals to gain assistance, hopefully from the federal level if it meets thresholds. One sector that we have not touched on is the agriculture sector. If you have any agricultural loss, whether it be fencing, loss of animals, loss of feed, bales of hay, anything like that, please document that. We can put that into the ISTAT sector of it. If you need any help with that, please contact the Tom Green County Extension Agent, or anybody else watching in your county. Contact your extension agent. The number is 325-653-4576. And after 5, please leave a message for them. As you know, Governor Abbott yesterday did issue a disaster declaration, emergency declaration. We are awaiting another press conference today at 2:30 between the Office of the Governor and Secretary Noem. That is going to be in Kerr County, down in Kerrville. We have one of our neighbors, Kerrville, has seen tremendous loss of life. We mentioned yesterday, and I'll let Chief Griffith touch on this in a little bit. We did have one outstanding person being looked for. That person has been found, unfortunately, deceased. I'll let the efforts of that be discussed by him. At this time, well, let me touch base. Coming from Sheriff's Department, Sheriff's Office, we do not see any impassable major roadways at this time. I think everything has subsided, thank the Lord. 2105, there might be debris in the road. I have not witnessed it as of today, but the efforts are to be cleaning off those roadways to make sure they are passable and people can travel on those areas safely. So I'm going to pass it off now to Mayor Tom Thompson, and he can discuss the city side.
Thanks, everyone, for being here. I'm Mayor Tom Thompson. I'm going to cover some elements that I think a few people need about local donations, how to proceed with some questions that they may have, and as far as volunteers, and a little bit about the animal shelter. And as soon as I'm done, I'll turn it over to Police Chief Griffith. But I think the key information for today is emergency services. If you need emergency services, please dial 911. All right, don't hesitate. If it's life-threatening, you need to go down that path. Non-emergency, I know a lot of people haven't used it before. Dial 211. 211, you'll give them your zip code, and they'll kind of allocate you, and they'll head you in a direction you need to follow to get you the proper resources. There's also our non-emergency police department number, 657-4315. So let's talk about shelter info. So the United Way has an evacuation center that has resources available, and it's open at Paul Ann Baptist Church, and it's open till 4 p.m. today. After 4 p.m., revert back to the non-emergency PD number of 657-4315. Medical needs, we talked with Shannon Hospital. Shannon gave us some inputs. They've got 4 small urgent care facilities. I believe it's the North and the Jackson locations are open 7 today and tomorrow. The West and South facilities will be open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Both emergency locations will be open 24/7. But as people start to do debris cleanup and they start to pick up, I would say, debris and things, there's going to be cuts, bruises. If you cut yourself, just get to one of the urgent care clinics. Shannon's out there to help. We can move forward from there. Volunteers, got tons of calls, and it's just amazing how many people have reached out to not only to me, but everybody within the city. What can we do? And here's where we're going to start that. If you're interested in flood relief efforts, visit the United Way of the Concho Valley Facebook page, all right, or call 949-3716. I'll repeat that one more time. You can get to the United Way of San Angelo's Facebook page, or you can call their phone number at 949-3716. They're kind of running point on helping us allocate resources. Donations. So water, non-perishables, clothing, food, household cleaning, and packing supplies can be taken today to the Concho Valley Turning Point Warehouse at 2400 South Hill. That's the CV Turning Point Warehouse at 2400 South Hill until 5 p.m. After 5 p.m., they won't be taking any more donations. We're going to make a reassessment tomorrow. So donations today, let's see where we sit, and then we'll probably get some information out tomorrow. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about the animal shelter. Boarding assistance for owned pets, which is cats and dogs, not livestock, is available through Concho Valley Paws program funded by a national group. If an impacted household wants to retain ownership of their pets but needs help housing them, please contact Jenny Wilson at 325-656-3950. That's 325-656-3950. Local private boarding facilities will have room on Monday. For immediate care, pets can be impounded at the city shelter, or we can provide crates and leashes if the owner wants to maintain physical custody and rely on friends and family. We are in touch with Texas AgriLife. We're looking at some possibilities for livestock, but I will say right now the fairgrounds have been flooded. A lot of the facilities there are nothing but mud floors, so it's not really a good place, and plus we're having a little bit of trouble getting into the facility. At this point in time, I want everybody to remember you can find all of this information on our website at sanangelo.gov/July 4th. With this, now I'm going to turn it over to Chief Griffith and let him talk for a little bit. And then after Chief Griffith, we're going to have about 5 to 10 minutes with Shane Kelton, who's going to talk about debris cleanup.
Thank you, Mayor. Just To start off, I want to say thank you to the members of the media. We can't do this without you because you're getting information to the citizens. It really means a lot to us. It's been a busy time for the first responders in San Angelo. I want to say a big thank you to the San Angelo Fire Department. Those guys have been out running way busier than normal and doing water rescues, and sometimes we put equipment in harm's way to do so. Their trucks are much bigger than ours. They went out there and saved a lot of people early, partnered with our team members to be able to get out there and find the people that were in need. We're going to be working on releasing some drone videos that we had of active rescues that were ongoing, of our officers on rooftops in boats that were given by local citizens, and wading through water. This kind of stuff was going on during that time frame, and that's the boots on the ground when it occurred. I can't tell you how amazing that the work was for the firemen and the police officers that were out there and the citizens that showed up. I do want to say thank you to the Fort Worth Fire Department. They had a Task Force 1 swiftwater rescue boat that was actually in this region when it occurred. They deployed with us for a short period of time, and then were redeployed to the counties to our south. They were able to do multiple rescues with both fire department and police department staff. So thank you to those guys. And about 400 calls that we had calls for service is what we mean by that, which means people that we dispatched out. We had about 1,000 phone calls that came in during this short period of time. I have to say thank you to our dispatchers at the comm center. They 100% showed up and did some amazing work to get the information to the first responders, because as you've seen from videos on social media and all the things that were ongoing, it was a lot to handle and to try to get the information of where they were at. At this point, we have only seen one fatality. I'm going to speak on that a little bit, but I can tell you from the amount of houses that were washed off their foundations, from the amount of damage that we're seeing on the map here behind me, that's nothing short of a miracle to see that we have only one fatality. My heart and prayers are with the family of the deceased. I will tell you that I know people have been reaching out knowing that they've been missing for this long, and we worked an operation over the last roughly 12 hours. Nighttime impeded some abilities, but we were able to, at about 9:15, locate the body of the victim, who was 62 years old. She was cared for greatly by her family. So I ask that you be praying. We're not going to release her name just yet because we did notify the initial next of kin, but also want them to be able to notify their friends and family and extended family, and we'll release that in a written release. We've only seen minor injuries outside of that. We've seen the fire department has transported those that were injured, but they were only minor, non-life-threatening, to local hospitals. We continue to provide a strong presence in the most affected areas, and what we mean by that is the east part of town. That doesn't take away from anybody else that's in this northern region, is most of the northern region was high water and not swift water. So what that means is flooding versus your house being swept off its foundation. We have the fire department, fire marshal's office is out right now working to secure the buildings, find out if we can get into those and what is safe to go into. So we're working with that and supporting them in that mission. We do ask, if you don't need to be in these areas, and if you don't know anybody there and you're just wanting to kind of get an idea, we ask that you kind of stay out, because there's a lot of traffic of people's friends and folks getting in there to try to help them. Also, we have a lot of first responders in that region, so stay out of that affected area, which, and the easiest way to put it would be anything north of the loop down to the Concho River, right along Bell Street. And I want to say thank you to DPS, Lieutenant Ram Garza and his team as our local troopers. They were some of the first ones in the water right there with us. They 100%, man, put themselves in dangerous situations. They were on a boat themselves that was given by a citizen. That boat capsized, and by the grace of God, they did not sustain any injuries and were not lost in that. Our drone team, man, a lot of people don't understand what goes into that. We have now we have a 4-person drone team. They were going on rotation. That our drones were flying almost nonstop for about 22 hours. They did some amazing work, and those guys are some of the best drone team in this whole area. They got great information to the officers to help work those rescues, to find the people. One of the most dramatic things I've seen so far was a father and son of about roughly 3 years old were hanging onto a street sign in very high water, and they were able to direct the assets to pick up that family. That went on. That's just the ones we know of. It was such a fast-paced thing. I think that's probably my phone, and I'm going to own that. It could be Justice calling. I'm not sure. Thank you, Shane. That's why you don't leave your phones in the back. Yes. So, my apologies. I want to say thank you to Shane, who just popped back here. Shane and his crew with the city maintenance has been outstanding. We would not be able to do our job without them. That goes for fire and police, EMS across the board. They were replacing us at intersections, staying long hours. They've been out there nonstop as well. This is a team effort from some wonderful first responders and wonderful people that work for the city of San Angelo. And you would not see the numbers that you see right here, I think, without that quality of first responders and staff that we have here. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Shane and go from there.
Shane Kelton, Executive Director of Public Works for the city. Today we want to discuss regular trash and recycling services along with debris management moving forward and some other things related to Public Works. As we move forward with trash collection services, Republic Services facility was hit very hard by the flooding there off Hughes Street. Sustained quite a bit of damage. Most of their vehicles were submerged, and had quite a bit of damage at their facility. So they have requested assistance from their partners or their other folks that they have throughout the state, and so they are deploying assets to San Angelo as we speak. So there will be some disruption in your trash service for the next week and a half as we get those assets here and we get geared back up and we catch up from this flood event. So we have, again, if you've driven around, we've seen quite a few trash carts that have been swept away and washed away. And so, again, there is quite a bit of disturbance. Republic is out there working currently to collect all of these trash bins that they have found. If your trash can was lost, please contact our customer service at the City of San Angelo at 325-657-4323 to be added to the replacement list, and we will work to try to get a replacement bin to your residents. Please be patient as this may take some time as we're still gathering bins and getting them cleaned, getting them refurbished, and getting them back out. So again, be patient with us, but please get on the list so we can get new bins out to you. As we start talking about regular trash service, again, there will be some disruption in it. But again, please, if you have your standard carts and you didn't see any damage, please go ahead and set your trash out on its normal schedule in its normal location. And we will get to you, the trash service will get to you as soon as they can. If it is not picked up on its normal time, please leave it there. And again, we will get there as soon as we can to get that trash collected. We have suspended recycling services for the next week and a half as we are working towards getting caught back up on our trash service. And so you can, if necessary, use your recycling cart for standard household trash. Again, we are going to be suspending recycling services for the next week and a half until we can get caught back up. Moving forward, if you do not have a trash bin at your residence, and we are not able to get you one before your next time to set it out, please bag your trash in bags and set it out at the curb. We will come by and handpick it. Our Republic Services will come by and handpick that trash at your curb. So again, go ahead and set it out. Please bag it and set it out at the curb. We will, as we're moving forward, we will be focusing on the neighborhoods that were hardest hit, as there will be perishable goods. We have quite a few homes still without electricity. AEP is currently working to reestablish electricity in those areas, but we still have quite a few homes that are without electricity. And so we know there will be perishable items that are going to need to be removed fairly quickly. And so we will be concentrating on those areas. But again, we will be servicing the entire city. So again, bear with us as we move forward. We will also, on the commercial side of things, we will be focusing on commercial pickup. We will be focusing hospitals, nursing homes, and restaurants. Again, those with more perishable items that can move faster. However, we will continue to service all commercial carts. If you do have issues with commercial, your dumpster being overfull, things like that, and we're not getting to you, you can call our customer service and report that at 325-657-4323. Moving on to debris management from the flood. We do have the hardest hit areas. I mean, some of these hardest hit areas, especially with the swift water, and also north in our northern parts where we just saw general home flooding as well without the swift water. We know there's going to be quite a bit of debris that you're going to have, whether that's construction debris, carpets, those type things, appliances, refrigerators, TVs, those type things. There's going to be quite a bit of debris. We do have a debris management company that we are working with to come in and collect this. And this is very important as we're moving through this, is that we follow these steps. We have this on our webpage at sanangelo.gov /July 4. And as we're moving through, please go look at this debris management flyer that we have posted on there, and it will tell you, it will give you the instructions that we need. We need everything separated, and we need it all placed at back of curb, or we need it placed at street edge if you do not have a curb. And so please do not put anything in the street itself, but back of curb or at street edge. We do need all of this material sorted. If it's not sorted, we will not be able to take it. This is these are FEMA requirements that we are abiding by as we move forward to try to, again, as we seek reimbursement opportunities for all the damage that were related. These steps must be followed. So we will need it on the brochure, as you can see. We will need household hazardous waste separated out, electronics separated, appliances and white goods separated. Any construction debris, again, 2x4, sheetrock, roofing, carpet, those type items separated as well. Vegetation separated, so your tree branches, shrubbery, anything like that removed. That will also need to be in a separate pile. And along with any normal household trash, again, if you have a bin, please use it. If you do not have a bin, please bag it and place it to the side at the curb as well too. So again, it's very important that we follow these steps as we move forward so we can seek reimbursement. We again, like I said, we are working with a debris management company. As we move forward, we will probably not start debris pickup from the curb for another 7 to 10 days, allowing property owners, homeowners, residences to be able to allow to get into their homes, to remove any of the debris, to remove whatever items they need and get on the curb. And then we will be visiting, our staff will be going around working with the residences and the homeowners to, again, establish the best time to bring this company in and start the removal process. We will also have staff, operations staff, that will be going in these affected areas, going to each residence, and again, handing out the flyers and assisting with any information that is needed about the debris management pickup. You will see City Public Works staff out there working through this process, as well as other city staff as well as we move through this process. Again, this is going to take some time. There is substantial damage in a lot of areas of town, and so this will take some time. We are still in the assessment period right now. We still have crews out all over town working through this, assessing it. Again, as Police Chief stated earlier, we do have the City Fire Marshal's office and the city building official that are out working right now on structural safety issues in these hardest hit areas. When we're, and again, we want to reiterate as we're going through and y'all are cleaning and the citizens are cleaning up and they are working through, we want to make sure that you do document everything very well. You need to make sure that you take plenty of photographs of all of the damage, any property damage, any personal property damage. Make sure that you take good photos of that, create detailed lists, work through those type things. Any receipts associated with it, make sure that you document and keep those receipts. And then, of course, too, if you do have insurance, make sure that before you do anything, you contact your insurance provider and make sure that you're working with them as well, too. This, and again, while we are doing these assessments, the safety and safety stuff, remember that this is just strictly for safety of the resident itself and making sure that it is safe for the residents or the homeowners to actually enter that structure to start cleaning it out. Again, we do not want anybody injured or hurt further. And so again, it doesn't have anything to do with insurance or anything else at this point. It is just strictly safety measures for the residents and the homeowners themselves. At this time, there will be, because of the debris management and how we're handling this, there is not and will not be a central drop-off for any debris or any other trash at this time. And again, and currently right now, the landfill is closed to the public until further notice. We're expecting it probably for another week or so as we're trying to work to get the landfill in operational order again, as it did take quite a bit of rainfall at the landfill itself. And so we are working through that process, and it will remain closed to the public probably for the next week and a half. We will let everybody know as we get that opened and when we return to normal services. We just talk about the structural assessment and the structural safety. If you are a citizen or a homeowner and the fire marshal's office or the city building official has placed an orange X on your house, that means that it is unsafe to enter. And there will be information posted on the house or on the residence itself to contact the appropriate people for them to get in touch with you. One last thing, as we talk about starting the recovery process of this, we just want to remind all citizens that as we move through, that any of the general contractors here in town, electricians, plumbers, and all that must be registered through the city. So we want to make sure, again, that if you have somebody coming from out of town, that you know somebody, anything like that, please have them register with the Permits and Inspections Office. And again, or two, if you want to verify that that they are a registered contractor with the city, ready to do business with the city, you can contact our Permits and Inspections Division, and they can give you that information as well. I do not currently have that number, but I will. Again, it can be found on our website at sanangelo.gov. I want to touch briefly on road safety as we move forward. Again, we still will have some areas barricaded, especially up in the Lakeview area. Lakeview drains fairly slowly up in the area, and so we still do have water over the roads, crossing the roads, and so we will have some areas still barricaded, probably for the next 2 or 3 days as we allow that water to recede. Please do not, again, obey all the road closures. Do not drive through the barricades. We have seen quite a bit of road damage in certain areas, and again, we don't know what the road conditions are going to be under any water as you're moving through. And we could have, and there could be other compromised issues with undercutting and other things as well too. So again, stay safe out there, and again, obey all road closures and barricades. If you would like to help us and report damage, whether that's road damage or that's if you see sewer manholes, we have had several sewer manholes that have been in the swift water stuff washed away, blown away. And so if you see any open manholes, you see anything like that, you see road damage, you see any debris in roads and you want to report that, please report that damage on our website at sanangelo.gov/July 4. And there will be a link where you can report road damage or any other damage that you see to a city asset. And with that, I will turn it back over to Mayor Thompson.
Thank you, Shane. Don't run far. We'll do questions here in a little bit. A couple follow-up and add-ons that were pointed out. Number one, we left out thanking the Texas Parks and Wildlife. I know they had a ton of teams out, and we're working on water rescues. It's a very important group to us. We're sorry about that. Here's one that I want everybody to focus on. There's been a lot of calls on what we can do financially and how you can donate. We are pushing all of the local financial donations to the San Angelo Area Foundation. That's SAAFOUND.org. It's a local organization. They manage funds. They've started up. You can go to their website. And we just think that's the best starting point. They work with several of the local nonprofits. So it's a good way to channel your money, make sure it stays local, and it's got quite a bit of oversight. The third thing on here was brought up from the United Way. They're asking that no one self-deploys a cleanup team. All right, check in with the United Way first. I know you may have 4 or 5 people. There may be a team you want to go help. Please check in with United Way so we get the proper documentation. Call them first at 949-3716. The last one I'm going to throw in there is the guidelines we're talking to you with today for cleanup and everything are FEMA guidelines, all right? It's not something the county or the city came up with. These are guidelines provided by FEMA. We're just trying to maximize the amount of recovery funds we can get for us. So please bear with us. This is going to take some time. We're looking at least probably 2 or 3 weeks. I've had tons of people call that want to provide food and meals. We're going to work through the United Way, and we're going to schedule up a team and a calendar, and we'll work through that. Just give us a little bit of time. With that, I'm going to bring Judge Carter back up for a close, and then we'll open up for questions.
You know, when you start thinking everybody, it's inevitable that you're going to miss someone. So if we missed anybody out there that was part of these efforts, thank you very much for those individuals and for the efforts put out for the safety and the recovery of people. One other mention that we just found out from the state is that we have seen an uptick in false scam text messages, phone calls, emails already coming out. Scams that are related to the contracting for individuals of cleanup. If you are contacted by any of these individuals, please be aware. Do not give any money up front. Make sure they are registered with the city. Make sure they are an actual business. You can check that out through the Better Business Bureau, any kind of methods, Home Builders Association. They have lists of contractors and subs in this area to make sure that they are true to what they are. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and open up for questions for any of us up here standing. And once again, before we get to questions, thank you, everyone, the media, for keeping all the individuals out there, the citizens informed of all of our efforts. So with that, questions? Yes, sir.
You mentioned the landfill is closed. Is trash pickup for unaffected areas going to continue on usual schedule?
Yes, we're going to try to keep it on usual schedule. We do want citizens to place their trash out just like normal on their normal schedule. Again, it may take us a little while to get there, a little longer than normal to get there. It may actually even take a day or two longer. But again, please continue to place your trash out on your normal scheduled day in affected areas or non-affected areas. Again, as Republic deploys their resources from around the state, they're going to gear back up again, and we should be on a normal schedule, hopefully within the week. But again, we're going to be doing everything we can to maintain our regular schedule.
Go ahead.
This is for Chief Griffin. The circumstances of the death, were they related to the flood, or could it be attributed to natural causes or something like that?
No, it's going to be related to the flood. Every indication to it was that it was related to the flood in a low water area. Last known conversation was during the flooding event, and we have been tracking that region, but due to the high waters, it prohibited us from being able to continue until today.
And the victim was a 62-year-old female or male?
62-year-old female.
Female.
Yes, sir.
I have a question for Chief Griffin. We hearing a name in contact with the family. So are y'all kind of just holding on to that at the moment?
Just, we're waiting because I'll be honest, as an out-of-town individual, we want to make sure that we make sure that we let them get their friends and family. Because, I mean, you notify a loved one, a close loved one, right? And by the time you can collect yourself, we just did this a little bit ago. We wanted to make sure that we had the right identification, because with all the amount of flooding, we didn't want to get that wrong. So by the time we notify the family, we didn't want to come forth and let them, a close loved one, find out not from their family. So we're going to wait for that, just out of respect.
When will y'all know?
I think we'll probably, after 3 o'clock would be a good time frame for us to be able to get that in a written press release, is kind of what we were thinking. Yes, sir.
What areas of the pieces were found?
So along Bell Street, it was right in that low water area, is where the original last contact is that we knew through our investigation. You can then track from the area of Coke and Lowry is a general vicinity of where she was found.
Was she in the vehicle? Or
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But this is one that we were aware of early on. Just shy of 1,000 phone calls from people in homes and cars. We were working so many different rescues. We knew that she was last in that area, but anybody that's seen any pictures at that moment, right? The water was all the way to Pulliam, really almost right there at that restaurant. We did everything we could to try to find everybody that was possible, and that was one that we just kept coming up short on. And so as the day we're on, we knew it was hope was getting a little bit less, but we're thankful for the people that a lot of folks, the Parks and Wildlife in particular, put themselves in danger to try to get to that vehicle once we did find it by mid-afternoon.
do you know the depth of the water and what time you were able to?
I can give you a rough estimate. I mean, I won't be able to be precise, but I can tell you at the peak of the flood where the vehicle was located would have been well over 12 feet. And that was substantially further away from where the vehicle had been traveling. So the water, what we're seeing in this region, it happened very, very quickly. So like a wall of water, you get a first initial, and then you get a little bit more, and before you even know it, this isn't something that's just somebody hazardly driving through water. I mean, it just came out of nowhere. We saw that from every resident that we talked to, whether that be the house or a car. You start trying to collect your stuff and get out, and all of a sudden the water's already up, another 3 or 4 or 5 feet.
Was this like a sedan or an SUV?
SUV, yes, sir.
What direction did the water come from?
Yeah, so from the north to the south along a waterway right there. Yes, sir.
What y'all gathered, is this just the only person or there?
This is the one we've exhausted all of our missing persons. I mean, we found everyone that had been originally reported as missing. If I wouldn't have had my phone call interrupting, I would have been able to explain that to you. I say that we spent a lot of time and resources on that, making sure we wouldn't have anybody else missing that's outstanding. That's what's reported to us. So one thing we're also looking at is those that could be homeless, that had very little loved ones, someone that is in a home that is new to San Angelo and didn't know. Those things we're not aware of. We have no outstanding missing at this time for the San Angelo Police Department.
Was there any sort of initial warning about these potential for flooding?
Yes, there was a text that came out, I believe, at approximately 4:30, if I remember correctly. I'm going off the top of my head. But Not that it would be, nobody can, that amount of water that fast, I don't think there's a warning system that's developed yet that would be able to give us that quantity that quick. So,
We always hear about turn around, don't drown.
yes, sir.
Probably the easiest, most comprehensive way of looking at this. Are there any suggestions about when people were in it, what to do? I know it's probably not an easy thing at that point.
First step is think in advance, right? To think, hey, is this worth driving through? And we don't know. I kind of lean towards this being a wall of water, honestly, in this case, but we don't know. We don't know. But let's just say that you see a water that you shouldn't cross. Just think, hey, if it's more than anywhere from 3 to 6 inches, that water can actually wash away a small car very quickly, depending on the flow of water, and it's deceptive. Be prepared, having a glass break device inside your vehicle. It can be on a keychain, it could be a actual hammer, break out the window to get out of the car. You never know what you're going to do until you get there, but when you put that in your brain, hey, what am I going to do? I'm going to have this device to get out. I'm going to have this method, and I'm going to swim away from the current as fast as possible. That's imprinting on your brain what you would do in the case of emergency. And so that's what I would encourage folks to not go in. If you find yourself in that situation quickly, have the tools to be able to extract yourself from that vehicle and then get out of that current as fast as possible.
Where do you stand on donations and what is needed most?
Donations are broad right now, and that's where we're going to go with clothing. Some of these houses were completely washed away, and that was reported to through United Way and going to that location that they mentioned earlier. Sir? Cameron, would you like to come forward? Monetary donations are going to be huge, and she'll fill you in on location and everything else. But using that one link that the mayor was touching on by the San Angelo Area Foundation, I think is important to watch out for scams because they will come up. Use that as your primary.
Yeah, I got very dressed up for today. My name is Cameron. I'm Cameron Cummings. I'm the Community Impact and Engagement Director at United Way of the Concho Valley. I'm also the president of the local COAD, which is the Community Organizations Active in Disaster. Right now, just to repeat what Travis said, monetary donations is going to be the big thing right now. We're going to be able to put that money to greater use and to spread it out more with those things. If somebody wants to donate items, materials, things like that, they need to contact our office. Clothes, we're getting a lot of those right now, so we might hold back on some of those for right now until we identify how much we need, what the need is in this area. I'm trying to think what else. We're going to start reaching out for other resources as we see, as we start cleanup efforts and things like that. We'll start announcing different resources for that and what our needs are. So I think if the best thing for us is to follow the city's Facebook page and our Facebook page for updates. If individuals want to donate, that's going to be where we're going to put out information. They can always call our office as well, and that was repeated a couple times a little while ago. But my best suggestion as of right now, today, is monetary donations if somebody can do that. So that's going to be the best option. Anybody else?
Cameron, I'll turn it over to Shane right there. Thank you.
Just an update. We have an inundation map right over here. As you can see, this is not a complete map. This is just a very initial review of it. We do now have drone footage that San Angelo Police Department has provided us, where we are going to be working through to better map the entire inundation area. Currently, though, as we look at it, we do have we have as far as 12,102 structures within this area so far. Now, those structures could be homes, they could be garages, they could be sheds, those type of things, so it's not all homes. And as far as parcels, individual parcels or properties that are individually owned, that comes out to 6,157 at this point. Again, this is not a complete map. We know that. We will be adding to it as we are able to review the drone footage and collect all of the data to make sure that we are encompassing all of this as we move forward. So we will be updating this. We will have this on our website as we get it updated. And so if anybody wants to see the inundation area, they'll be able to.
Got a question?
Yes.
Can you mark on the map some areas where there's still a lot of water over the roads? Maybe we can avoid like the North Tavern area?
Okay, yeah. Again,
Take that back.
thanks, sir. Put that down. As we still look up here in the northern part of town, coming up around the Coliseum area, we do have some areas generally in here that are still got quite a bit of water in there. The old Lakeview Park area, the detention area at Lakeview again is full. We do have some water in the streets in those areas that are still draining at this point. Again, we come up here north of there, we still do have water draining out of the area. You get over here on Short Street and some of these areas up here in this neighborhood, again, low-lying areas. Chadburn Street, right here close to the Coliseum, over here coming into, coming back towards the river as it's draining towards the river, the North Concho River watershed as it's draining this way. We still do see quite a bit of high water in those areas there as well. So again, a lot of the stuff in northern Lakeview area regions of town, we still have quite a bit of water on the roads. Most of the area to the south has drained fairly well, so we're in pretty good shape there. But again, we are still seeing some here. A little bit around the Bradford area as it's still draining out currently. But again, we do still have some water in the streets in that area as well. So again, those are the areas. Please be careful as you're moving around in those areas. And again, if it's barricaded, please do not go past the barricades.
He's asking for the total number of missing. I'm sorry, I wasn't repeating questions earlier. We had somewhere right around 5, and there were some that were being reported through other nonprofits or churches or things that we were tracking down, but the number was right around 5 as we worked through finding where they were at a cousin's house or out of town that somebody wasn't aware of. We had additional follow-ups with people reaching out on social media to check on their aunt or someone like that was elderly, and we tracked those down pretty quickly. I'm going to ask for a little bit of clarification, time frame for the totality of repair or totality of the operation of evaluating? I'm going to let Shane answer that because it's going to go long beyond the public safety.
As we're doing our assessments out in the field, we're hoping to have most of the assessments done late this evening into midday tomorrow to have everything assessed. Again, we do have our debris recovery management team en route currently. They will be here. We will be doing assessments with them late this evening and into tomorrow as well as we move forward. So again, we hope to have most of the assessing done tomorrow afternoon. And again, we will be working with citizens, homeowners in these affected areas, moving forward with the debris management as we move forward. So, and again, in certain areas, it's pretty extensive in certain areas, especially in the high water or the fast water areas. It is extensive damage in those areas.
And you know, to the extent how many public facilities have been affected by this?
We don't have it broken down between private. We don't have anything broken down yet, but again, like I said, when we were looking at 12,000 plus structures, again, like I said, those structures could be homes, they could be businesses, they could be garages, unattached garages, those type things. And so, again, those are just the initial assessments. We will be once we are able to analyze the drone footage in full, we will be able to update those numbers.
I can tell you, I just want to add a little bit to the fact that on the public safety side, we're going to continue a presence there until Monday morning. So that way people know that we're trying to protect any type of property crimes in that region. It's a faster response when we're right there, and we'll set up off the command structure that the city has there as well.
Should people just come directly to the command center?
We still encourage you to call 911 if you have an emergency, because that way we are functioning off of a command structure, so they automatically get notified as well, operating off a different channel, so they have a faster response time. So utilize the 911 system as an emergency. Utilize the non-emergency line if you have something you just need some help with.
Mayor Thompson, is he still here?
I think he stepped out.
A lot of people probably don't have flood insurance. So the question is, if y'all look at that, and also the money that people will be donating to the San Angelo Area Foundation, will that be going toward reconstruction of some of these homes? Because, I mean, we saw houses floating down streets, right?
Right.
And these are, a lot of this is in not wealthy neighborhoods.
So what the question is about the monetary donations of how is that going to be distributed, or for individuals that do not have flood insurance. The individuals without flood insurance, which that would be the vast majority of the city and the county in these areas. This is where the ISTAT and PSTAT individuals come in, so that those documentations with meeting our thresholds, enacting FEMA hopefully will help aid in the long run of what funds we were able to get down from the federal level. For the donations towards our nonprofits, I can speak towards the SAAfound.org. There is a link in that website for the Area Foundation for an individual to go and apply for funds. I do not have details of what that is to enable that, but.
So it's outside the government purview, the Area Foundation is going to figure out what system they're going to.
Right, Area Foundation, United Way, any nonprofit that are taking in monetary funds outside of parcels, they are going to be the ones taking the applications and getting those funds distributed.
So from what I understand, Judge Carter, what you're saying is there's going to be probably government assistance for people to rebuild their house, and possibly also in the private sector with San Angelo Area Foundation, there'd be a separate, tributary of help.
Correct. We have to meet those thresholds, and you have to have the correct documentation to have the application of FEMA to come in for possible federal funds coming down.
Is there a time frame for when FEMA would come in after you submit all the documentation?
I'm going to refer that, Sean Baxter, time frame. Is there a specific time frame that we see to after the specific event to document what you have and to put into ISTAT?
Sooner the better, but we're not going to shut you off.
Okay, sooner the better, but will not shut off.
So, and we're looking to bring in personnel.
Okay, just don't sit on it. Get your applications in, get your information in as soon as possible.
Falls under the declaration and meeting the thresholds. The sooner we get it in,
Right.
the thresholds, the quicker we can make those applications.
Yeah.
Up to the governor's office.
Okay, it's all, what he's saying is it's all falling under the declaration locally and from the Office of the Governor for Disaster. So I believe you had a question.
We're not talking about a day time frame, even weeks and a couple weeks we're sure.
Weeks into months.
I think one of the concerns to me as landowners, homeowners, business owners, it's not understanding, because yesterday on TV, there's a Dan Patrick Abbott say, hey, all these, you're gonna get it fast. Now we're saying, I'm hearing, but we don't even know who's gonna get it here in this area. And you gotta have documentation.
Correct.
That sounds good, but what is the example of the documentation you need?
Pictures. Be sure to document all the picture of whether it be if it's a residence picture, the water damage, any fences knocked over. Take pictures of your water line. Take pictures of any loss of vehicle, any structures on your parcel of land, anything like that. try to put a monetary assessment to that. And what the ISTAT, if you have any questions on that, there are individuals out there that there will be a link to help you assist if you have any questions to enter in that information properly.
Because there's gonna be some people that won't have to wait.
Absolutely.
And then there's gonna be some people that, I can't wait, I gotta keep going.
Right. Right. Document every picture that you can. Take them now to show the damage.
And Joe had Angelo, I want to piggyback on this question. One of the common complaints of the city of San Angelo as a municipal government is the permits office. I just heard Kelton say you're going to have to build 6 to 12,000 structures, which will require permitting. Have you thought through what you're going to do to get those permits? Because once people clean the stuff up, they're going to want to rebuild. So what is the city going to do to help facilitate that?
Well, I can say, number one, we will fast track anything as far as it comes to disaster recovery. All right, it's been less than 48 hours since this has gone down. So it was part of a big discussion in a mayoral campaign about what we do with permits and planning, and we're doubling down. I mean, we're working on last year's budget, but I think you'll see tons of things go down as far as what's approved, what didn't get approved. If you're replacing your existing house with the same footprint, I don't think you're going to hear us try to slow things down. But then again, the purpose of permits and planning is to protect not only the current owner, the future owner of those houses. So there are guidelines that we want to stay in to make sure that when we put it under, city, municipality, water, sewer, that everything functions just fine. But we'll make a concerted effort to go as fast as we can with that. I want to jump back to your question. We just got a phone call from Congressman August Pfluger. Just landed, got back in town. He'll be taking a tour tomorrow. But he was very confident that he will get a disaster declaration for San Angelo and the local area. This only isn't here, but there's several places. But I should say San Angelo is behaving well as far as we think we're strong. This entire group you've seen is nothing but an A team all the way through. So we want to fast track those funds as quick as we can. It's hard to guarantee you that, but we'll be working with TDM and U.S. Congressional District. And I want to touch one other thing, goes back to on the monetary donations. The San Angelo Area Foundation not only will take in money from citizens, they're also going to take in money from other national nonprofits. They find that a good way to manage local funds that know institutional knowledge of the local venue to make sure those funds are area and spent here locally where we can. But Cameron, can you come up and talk a little bit about the funding as far as it works through like the United Way? And expand on that with the Area Foundation.
Yes, so the Area Foundation is going to completely be the monetary organization for us. United Way is not going to take any monetary donations at this time. The Area Foundation has had experience with this before. They worked the Sonora floods, and so I think they've really learned from the experience they had there and have molded a way of how this is going to work. We've been talking with Matt Lewis. I talked to him 10 o'clock yesterday morning and said, hey, we need to immediately get your website up for donations because we were already having calls about it. So they're on the ball. They have a great team. They're actually out there at the facility at Paul Ann right now, taking information of individuals that are already coming in. And so getting that process starting of seeing what the need is, seeing where those locations are and how much, what we're going to need in the future on top of our potential federal funds, what the private sector is going to need to pitch in, and so in our public. We're working with them closely. Like I said, we're going to have some meetings with Matt this coming week. I don't remember who said it, but they're right. There are other organizations, working with other foundations to bring money into San Angelo, but we want to funnel it all through the Area Foundation.
For people who haven't signed up yet or are a little bit hesitant, how would you urge people to get the ball rolling on this
Yes, so we have been working, I've been gone from the facility for a couple of hours, but I got a couple of texts recently. It's kind of gone word of mouth from the people that have been the victims of this flood. They've received services and then they've gone back and told their neighbors and their friends that have experienced the same tragedy. Hey, these are the services we're receiving. They're helping us. We're getting all of these things. They're taking care of us. y'all need to go there instead of staying in potentially a house that is not safe. And so it's kind of, from what I've heard, it's been a lot of word of mouth recently in the last couple of hours, which is great.
And I know we've used a lot of bandwidth and cellular data covering all this today. If anybody doesn't have any further questions, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. As of right now, there's not a press conference planned for tomorrow. We'll look at regrouping and putting information out Monday morning, first thing, and we'll do a press conference sometime Monday, and it may not be a huge one. We'll just kind of give an update of where we get, try to hit our pertinent information. If you have questions that you'd like to be asked, please send them in through our public information. sanangelo.gov /July 4th. With that, if there's no further questions, we'll bring it to a close. Thank y'all for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Sure.
What we're